Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. So, big news in the photography world, in the video world right now, is the Panasonic GH4. And I have to admit, I'm pretty excited about this thing myself. It looks awesome. Which brings me to today's video. I've got 25 things that I like about the Panasonic GH4. 25, and don't worry, I got a list here. I'm not going to lose track. So, GH4, 25 things. Number one, and these are in no particular order, but number one, 4K from a nearly full pixel readout of the sensor. That's internal recording. In other words, we're not throwing away a lot of data here. They're bringing us the full 4K, and they're doing it with all the goodness of the sensor. So a lot of sensors, when they record, especially when they're going to 1080 and depending on the sensor format, they're discarding a lot of the information and downsampling, if you will, because they are just basically taking the area of the sensor that matches that 1080 output. That's not happening on the GH4. Uncompressed 10-bit 422 1080p via HDMI. That is excellent. 10-bit and 422, those are things you really want for good color and for good data rate. Excellent, excellent, excellent. 96 frames per second slow motion. That's point number 3. That gives us the ability to do really good slow motion work with the GH4. Number 4, more than double the bitrate of the GH3 in 1080p with 200 megabytes a second. All-I is the encoding there, and 100 mbit at IPB. So we've got phenomenal bitrate on this GH4. Like, we're more than double what the GH3 had, and the GH3 was already very good, folks. Number 5, we have the 1036K pixel OLED screen and the 2360K .EVF. In other words, we've got a really good LCD and we've got a fantastic EVF on the GH4. Really good quality. It's going to leave you really not missing having a glass optical instead of the EVF. So, number 6, Xlr and Hd Sdi. Now, that's via the external add-on, but still, this is awesome that we have this ability in the GH4. And then we've got number 7, uncompressed 10-bit 4K and 2K. And that's via, again, the external add-on. You'll be able to have this external add-on that goes, screws in almost like a, it looks to me from what I've seen that it screws in like a grip to the bottom of the GH4, giving it these additional abilities. Number 8, efficient H.264 compression of 4K. And when we say efficient, that would be compared to something like the 1DC Canon, which is MJPEG, is not very efficient of the H.264. So we've got what basically is a really sweet codec in the GH4. Number 9, reduced rolling shutter. And what I've got down here is 50 millisecond sensor readout compared to 100 on the GH3. So we'll have less of that rolling shutter effect that a lot of DSLRs don't deal with, while the GH4 should deal with it even better than the already decent GH3. Number 10, improved dynamic range. We always want improved dynamic range. Basically gives us a wider gamut for the light, from our darks to our lights. And you always want more of that. Just gives us better detail, better tonality, better gradation of the image. Number 11, improved low light performance. Again, we always want better improved low light performance. If we could, we would shoot at ISO 1,000,000 and do so gladly in dark situations. So this is a welcome benefit of the GH4 over the GH3. Number 12, Pal and Ntsc Switchable. So in other words, this is a whole world camera. You don't have to buy one that does one if you live over in Europe and then you come over to the Americas and it doesn't work for the settings you need. No, this camera will switch, which is awesome. Number 13, zebras in focus peaking. Important for me, I love the focus peaking. When you're doing manual focus, to be able to use that focus peaking screen on there shows you when you're in focus, when you're not. Really like that. 14, full manual audio control. This is something that's very important for video, and especially if you're not going to use a whole bunch of additional gear like a juice link or do your audio, record it into something else and then sync it. So nice to be able to have these full manual audio controls in the camera. Number 15, 1080 60p. I don't know, so everybody's crazy about needing the 60p on there. I always shoot in 24 or 30. Cinema basically shoots in 24 like most of your movies, but it's good to have this option and a lot of people want it. Then we have number 16, very fast autofocus for photos. We're down to 0.01 second focus acquisition time. And also, we've got better autofocus, improved AF in low light. Both of these things on the autofocus front are very welcome and very exciting for the GH4 because we want to consistently see better and better and better autofocus. Number 17, we've got a new mechanical shutter, and it has a longer lifespan, and it takes us to 1/8,000th of a second. All excellent, excellent things. Basically, more durable shutter and 1/8,000th of a second. Some of the previous ones and some of the lesser DSLRs did not allow us to go up that high for shutter speed, which is important when we're getting into lighting and things like that. You really want to have the ability to shoot at those faster levels, like 1/8 of a second. Sorry, 1/8,000th of a second. 18, very fast 40 frames per second burst rate. This is excellent. 40 frames per second is very, very good. And that's number 18. Number 19, silent shutter. The electronic shutter in there is silent. And that's at full resolution and in RAW, which is very helpful, especially if you're on set filming something. If you're doing video, you can be bang, 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 taking stills, and you're not getting a shutter sound showing up, not getting your audio guy, your video guy mad because you're adding noise into their video. So that silent shutter, very welcome. Number 20, time-lapse and stop motion are now added as animation modes. These are both welcome. I know I've done time-lapse videos. They're fun to do. Nice to have it as a mode. And stop motion's really cool too. If you want to try stop motion, I've done that for some kids' videos. Nice to have it as a nice built-in mode. Makes it a lot easier than trying to set it up yourself. What do we got next? We have 21, Gradation Curve. Basically what we're getting here is in-camera ability to do the adjustments for shadows and highlights. So that's going to allow you to tweak your video in camera rather than doing a lot of post-processing after. This is really handy, especially if you are needing to get something to production very quickly. You don't have to wait to do post on something. You can make it as perfect as you can in camera by this additional ability to tweak that right there. Then we've got 22. It has a really fast, really responsive quad-core CPU. It's based off a quad-core CPU in there. So we should expect this camera to be very quick, not hesitating due to the hardware issues, which is really nice. Always nice to see the internal guts of a camera going faster and faster and not slowing us down in that area. Now, as I did say, these are in no particular order. And so we're down to number 23. Wireless control over Wi-Fi. I really like this. Pop out your iPhone, pop out your iPad, your Samsung Galaxy Tab, whatever, and you run a control app from that to control the camera. So basically giving you a nice visual remote control. One of my favorite features for cameras that have this, and I'm really glad the GH4 does. The GH4 also, for number 24, has near field comms. Basically what we're saying with that is it's got that ability, that NFC, I believe is the acronym, that if you're near something you can transmit. A lot of the Android devices do this as well, and it's just another means of swapping images and data. Really handy to have. Just, you know, technology moving on. Nice feature to have. 25, weather sealed and splash proof. Always welcome in a camera, especially a camera like this that's not going to be super cheap. An incredible value for the price. They're saying it's going to be around $2,000. A 4K camera this well featured around $2,000. But still, we're spending that kind of money. It's nice to have the weather sealing, the splash proof on it. It's always welcome in case you know, you happen to get some rain coming down when you're filming something. You don't have to feel like you need to run and get your gear into a bag or something, because you do know that you've got a measure of protection there with it being splash proof and weather sealed. So there you go, folks. That's 25. Can't even do 25 on two hands, can we? Things that I love about the Panasonic GH4. What do you guys think? Did I miss a feature that you think is totally awesome on the GH4? Put it below. If I got one in here that you think is not notable, let me hear it. Let's have a discussion on the GH4, the things you love, the things you don't love. And thanks for tuning in to Art of the Image. We'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. Keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography, video, and technology right here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks, folks.